Hi everyone. Welcome all of you. Hey, it's that time again. Hey guys, I want to chat with you guys. I have something really heavy. I'm Monte Cagle, your host today. World traveler, husband, father, spokesperson, musician, author, composer, jack of all trades, a master of a few things. I just laughing today. I'm sorry. This is spiritual. And I really got to share this with you guys. I don't want to be long. I'll try to be short. But look, I've watched so many videos and lately, because I'm just trying to see what's going on, and so, some of the things are pressing, and it's just the news. I just like to watch the news. I'm a news. God help me. I think I watch too much news. I can't go outside. I went outside. I went to the beach today, man. I can't believe it. I could sit down and my arms starting to raise again, and oh, it was beautiful outside. The water was so blue today, and I just sat down. My wife was swimming, zip zip zip, so swims like a fish, and I just sat down. I was outside. Wow, I haven't been outside in a couple of months. Because my whole body's like aching, and the thing with Susan, and there's a lot going on. But anyway, look, the point is this. I just want to say something. Look, after looking at so many, because they're sitting there, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Just twiddle my thumbs, So I was just reading the Bible, and I look at videos, and I mean, let's be honest, binge watching all these videos, especially trying to follow and see what's going to happen in the Middle East right now. Ayatollah Khomeini, he said, revenge, I want revenge, and it's like, there's Netanyahu, he's, blowing everybody to smithereens, and everybody just blowing each other up, right? So it could escalate, and while we're waiting to see what they're going to do, okay, I don't want to be too long, but anyway, look, I was sitting there thinking, it's like, God, and what dawned on me, I was sitting there thinking about the world, and progressives and the woke attitude that the world has taken on. I think about the Olympics and all that stuff, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks that God is saying. I know it sounds simple, simplistic. Look, I know it's the like simplistic answer. You took the easy way out. Everything doesn't have to be hard. Okay, everything in life doesn't have to be complicated. God is not complicated. He's not super religious. And what hit me was that God created the heavens and the earth. So if he created it, then it's his world. It's his world. We're his creations. All the animals are his creations. And stars and the universe and all that stuff. It's like he created it. So I got this verse. I used to read this stuff when I was a kid, but I'll start out with this verse here. Look at this. Look at this verse right here. And I just like to go back to the Bible, okay, because it's just simple. You say, well, how did the world get here, right? So in Genesis chapter 1, it's very simple. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There it is. I'll show it to you. Genesis chapter 1 explains, the world, the Bible is very simple. It's very self-explanatory. It just, most of the times when you try to figure stuff in the Bible, the answer's right there already. So there it is. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So if God created it, then it must be his. He created it, right? So, those of you who don't believe he's an eternal, all-powerful, all-being, what can I say? It's just your secular ideas of life, your secular life view. And I just have a biblical life view, and life's been pretty simple. And so, if God created everything, then we belong to God. Everything, everything. And then another verse popped in my mind. Like everybody's going through all these changes. It's like all of us, even Christians, are like, just looking at the think it was the Democratic convention. Everybody was talking about all these people excited about this and excited about that, and oh, this person's going to win, and these are the precepts or the concepts that we're going to push in our campaign. And I was thinking, you know, people are not just, they're just like, God doesn't exist. It's like, oh, all the progressive ideas and anti-God ideas and things that God never intended for us to do. We're doing it and talking about it and even fighting for it. Principles and many lies and things that many of us are facing in life. And then we wonder, why is life so hard? Why we got to fight for this and fight for that? It's just like we're fighting God. And it's like that kind of popped in my mind. It's like God is very simple. And we are deliberately, in a lot of cases, deliberately disobeying God. It's like God said no. And it's like the sooner we realize that God, when he says no, he just means no. It's like I just thought about a story when I was a kid. I just like to share these stories because this stuff actually happened. Like, every year my mom, she's a high school teacher, and she used to take all the juniors and the seniors. They used to go on a trip to New York every year. So when I was like 6 years old, 5 years old, the bus that would take them to New York, to take all the students to New York, would stop in front of our house. We lived on Main Street in my little southern town. And they stopped there, and my mom would get on the bus, and they would drive up to New York, about 70 kids. Her and another teacher. 2 teachers were the chaperones. So I'd seen this for like 2 summers. It was like near the end of the summer. And they used to drive up to New York with this busload of kids. And so like, and I would just see them and wave from the porch, and mom, they drive off, and I'd be like, da, 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 da. So one year, I was like, I'm fed up with this. I want to go to New York with my mom, and I want to drive up on the bus, right? So that morning, I was telling mom, I'm going. I want to go. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and 5 years old, I think 6 years old. And I was like, Mom, I want to go. So she was like, no, you can't go. It's just for the kids, just for the students. And you're not allowed to go, and I'm not going to take you. You just got to stay home. And I was like, no. And I just threw a fit. I was a spoiled little brat. God help me. And I started pulling down the tables and knocking the lamps over. And I was throwing a big fat fit. And the bus came, and she was freaking out, like, God, I can't let this kid act like a nut, but I got to go right now. The bus, there was a Greyhound, big old Continental Trail right there, and she had to go, and they were all waiting for her. So she grabbed me, she said, look, you got to stay here. You'll get your chance to go, maybe, I don't know, but you can't go with me. That's it. She just, and I was like, whoa, okay. And she kind of snapped me out of it because I was just throwing a fit, acting like a real brat. And so, they left. Okay, maybe about 6, 7 years later, about 10 years later, I became a junior in high school, and sure enough, they were still doing the trip every summer, year after year after year. Her and another teacher were chaperones. And that year, I looked at her and said, Mom, I'm going to go finally again, to New York. I was so excited. I got my chance, and I didn't have to throw a fit anymore. And it was just like the Lord. The Lord sometimes just says, no, this far and no further, because he knows it wouldn't be good for me, and it's not allowed, and it's just like God. Sometimes God just has certain rules and regulations that he has put into place, and that's just the way it is, whether you like it or not, right? So the sooner we learn those things, that But God is the ruler. God is the creator of the universe. He made everything. He controls everything, and he knows what's best for all of us. And then, we have free choice, okay? But okay, that's the game. That's the lesson that we're all learning right now, choice. And so the sooner you learn to choose God's way instead of our way, then I think you'll be a lot more happier in life. So that's what I wanted to share that with you this morning. I don't want to be too long. But anyway, here's another little verse I got for you today. I hope you look it up. In Romans chapter 8. So just to kind of clarify, my stance on all the progressive ideas, and the woke mentality that's going around right now, it doesn't matter. It's like God has given us, we can't change things because God created everything. He put everything in place, and he wants us to follow his guidelines. And when we follow his guidelines, everything's going to work out. I mean, you don't pour water in the oil vent, for a car. You put the water in the radiator and you put the oil in the oil tank. Then the car will run smoothly and everything will work out smoothly. So God has given us certain guidelines in life, and that's just the way it is, whether we like it or not. And if we follow his guidelines, everything will work out a lot better. You'll be happy because he knows best. I'm sorry. That was a good, whatever, the father knows best. Not because it was just the typical white American life and it's like, they know best. But look, it's true. God knows best. And look at this. Then I read across this verse. I'll show it to you. In Romans chapter 1, I'll start here. 19 says, because that which may be known of God is manifested in them, for God has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him, okay, you can't see everything about God, from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. It's like there's no excuse. It's hard to accept, but I think a lot of us are overlooking that God has rules. There's rules. He's the ruler. He's the creator, right? Because that when they knew not God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. But these people, a lot of people, I go through it too. I do stupid stuff too. Look, God created everything. I don't care what the secular people say, and like I told you, we're randomly moving at thousands of miles an hour in space. And, we don't bump into the sun. We don't bump into Saturn. We don't bump into Venus. And everything is just spinning around all at the same time. And you're going to tell me all that's just randomly happening. There's a guiding force. Even scientists are, astrologers are admitting that there's some kind of guiding force behind the universe. And that is simply God. He made everything, and he has a certain rules, and he has certain regulations, and how things will work to our good and work for the best. So it might happen. It might be good to really think about these things, that God created the heavens and the earth. As simple as that. He made everything. There's a picture of God on the side of me. And sometimes we just get mad, just because you get mad. So all these ancient cities and people who disobeyed God finally just got upset. Like my mom said, look, sorry, you're just not going to go. So it's just like Sodom and Gomorrah, Nineveh, okay, they repented when, Jonah went to Nineveh. They repented, and He gave them, 40 some more years to live, before he destroyed the city. But they were disobeying God, and God had his guidelines, and it's been going on for thousands of years. Just because we're in the 21st century and we're progressively thinking we know a lot more and we're more educated than God, doesn't mean, okay, it just means S-H-I-T to God. He's God. So the minute you realize, or all of us, or many of us will start to realize that God is God. Just like Herr say, Das ist Geld. You just take a bottle. Look, every time I pick a bottle off this floor, I go buy a pack of drinks and something like that, and take the empty bottles back. I get like six or seven marks. They didn't have euros when I was in Germany. When I first went to Germany, of course, later on they got into marks, euros. Okay, but you go to the door kiosk and they give you, you get 6 packs of drinks, and instead of 8 marks, you'd spend like 4 marks for 8 pack of drinks and stuff like that. So, das ist Geld. Okay? This is the truth. So it doesn't really matter whether you get mad or freak out or, God or, this religion and that religion, they accept everything. It's like, how can you accept disobedience to God? It's just clear. It's right there in his word, and he loves you, and he made everything. I repeat, I'm going to show it to you one more time. In Genesis chapter 1, just think about it. Think about this verse. It says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Not the devil created the heavens and earth. Not man created the heavens and earth. God created the heavens and the earth. And man, I tell you, your life will just blossom if you can get that simple truth. It's just basic. If you just, I'm not arrived. I always like when I was busted arm. God told me what to do thing, and I want to do something else. And, God just says no. So he's a parent. God is our Father. He created the world. He loves you. He's not a monster like a slave driver. For those of you who are into thinking that God's an old slave master from back in the farms in the South. But God is a being that just created everything out of nothing, that loves us. He doesn't hate us, and he wants to just love you. So anyway, I want to just say that today. Have a nice day today, and I hope you think about the things I said, that God created everything out of nothing. Have a beautiful day today, and don't forget to ask Jesus Christ into your heart. I guess it just gets too long. You just start talking about stuff. So have a nice one, and see you soon. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to Monte Cagle.